Hey, what's going on, guys? I am back. I don't know what is going on. Somebody reported the live that we were doing ungodly things and YouTube pulled it down. It don't matter, baby. We getting into these legal documents. And whoever said that the live was doing weird stuff, karma gonna see you. Y'all, let's go talk about this, right? YouTube shut the live down that we're literally going over legal documents that were filed in court. Okay, you guys, let's just focus on what's going on. This is so weird. Okay, so where are we at, right? Let me just catch everybody up and then we're going to get into the documents. Tony Buzbee had a huge legal win. By any standards, it was big, it was embarrassing, it was a huge legal win. However, Jay-Z and Alex Spiro has come back. And the premise that they're under is two things. One, right? And they did a sneak attack because they said, listen, everybody, that's what we're going to do. We're withdrawing our motion. Everybody was like, yeah, get it. They came back and they said, listen, even if everything you're saying is true, Tony Buzbee, even if every fact this Jane Doe was saying is true, the question isn't whether Jay-Z did it or not. The question said that these claims are not viable under the very law you're citing. Y'all, law is a dirty game. We said this from the front. Alex Spiro, funny enough, is taking a step back from, is taking a page out of Tony Buzbee's book and is calming down and moving forward with more reserve. And this new, shocking new motion that we're not saying Jay-Z didn't do it. We're saying that legally, you cannot hold him accountable in a civil court. Criminal is something different. There's no statute of limitations. But when you get into a civil court, that is something completely different. You guys, hit that like button. I don't know why that stream got shut down, but it definitely got shut down. And YouTube would not let me go live until I made the stream private because somebody complained that we were doing something weird in the stream. Please, y'all see me. I'm trying to get over this holiday flu. I'm live streaming in my pajamas and not the sexy kind. I'm live streaming in my like family holiday Christmas pajamas. Anyway, y'all, get them likes up. We will not be stopped. We are reading these legal papers and we don't care. Again, you guys, the law's a dirty game. And even though Buzbee had a big win, Tony Buzbee knows who Alex Spiro is. Forget about Jay-Z. Tony Buzbee knows who Alex Spiro is, and you do not pay and hire a lawyer like Alex Spiro unless he got 5011 tricks still in his bag. Alex Spiro runs New York and LA. He's starting to make inroads into DC. However, Tony Buzbee is running this Texas, and he says he is not afraid. Buzbee will have to respond to this. He has not responded to this. I would think that Buzbee actually saw this play coming, but this is not them making a mountain out of a molehill. This is actually really serious. This is bad for the case. However, it's also very skilled because it's forcing Tony Buzbee to at least say in court that this happened in 2003 or perhaps later. Because if it happened in 2000, it actually is out of the statute of limitations. Now, we can argue that civilly, if you do something disgusting to someone, there shouldn't be a statute of limitations on it. Criminally, it's not, but this is civil court. They're suing Jay-Z and Diddy for money. Anyway, y'all, get those likes up if you can. Whoever reported that live stream, y'all weirdos. Second of all, YouTube, I am in my holiday Christmas pajamas. There is nothing sexy at all going on. So no need to shut down this live. All right, y'all. Listen, let's get into exactly. As much as people don't like to hear this, Tony Buzbee knows that Alex Spiro ain't going away. I would argue, though, that Jay-Z, to rehabilitate his image, I would argue that he 100% needs to go to court with this and prove his innocence. I think that if this is just dismissed on a technicality and not the merits of the case, this will do nothing, and I emphasis on nothing, to help his reputation, to help anything. And if anybody else sues, it'll all go down a landslide. Now, I did say in the last slide, we're going to go into the legal documents in a second. I did say in the last live that got shut down for no reason, right? I did say that they are involved in a power struggle with and Moe and Shandong. The new CEO that is the LVHM's luxury arm that owns 80% of the luxury brands in the world. The new CEO does not like Jay-Z and Beyonce. I know, right? And this is even before all this stuff came. He thought them just being there, Black excellence, was a bad look. He wants to cut ties. He thought that Beyonce is kind of like weighing the brand down. I know there's a lot of coded stuff in there, right? When this lawsuit came, he used as an excuse to say, guess what? Effective immediately, we are not investing a penny into anything until this case is resolved. A penny could be distribution, promotion, marketing, also manufacturing. Basically, they are shutting down their brands of alcohol, which are very lucrative. They have a 50-50 split deal. They make bank off of this, right? They are shutting it down until further notice. He is trying to cut ties with them completely, and he's using this as an excuse. Hence why Jay-Z wants this to to end very, very quickly. But here's the thing. Is Jay-Z running too fast? Because what is he trying to avoid? At this point, because they are holding that off, Busby isn't letting this go, right? He already said he wasn't settled. And honestly, I would argue if it's that important, if these rumors can be believed, and it's that important for Jay-Z to settle because of what's going on over there in Moan and Shandonville, why didn't you just settle before? I know, he's innocent, but he's a billionaire, 2.6 billion. Whatever they're asking for is a drop in the bucket. He wants to fight this, but after everything that's been said, and after we all read the complaint, at least on this channel we did, if this is dismissed on a technicality, how would this quiet the rumors and the feelings and the thoughts as to exactly what happened to Jane Doe? I don't think that it will quiet it at all. Anyway, let's get into reading these documents, right? Listen, so Alex Spiro first wrote this. Dear Judge Torres, we write on behalf of defendant Sean Carter concerning his motion for an order for the preservation of evidence. In an effort to resolve the motion, on December 30th, Jay-Z served, right? Jay-Z served, thank you so much, Tiff. Jay-Z served a document preservation notice concerning evidence related to this action and others. Given that Tony Buzbee's counsel has indicated that they are permitted to accept service on his behalf, Jay-Z effectuated service on this notice today. As such, the court need not intervene to issue a preservation order at this time. Accordingly, Sean Carter respectfully requests to withdraw the motion as mute. Now, one, this was pure egg on the face. You're saying that you don't want the court to decide because when you put the motion in, you realize it's probably not going to be granted. And after the way Judge Torres dragged you up and down the cement, the concrete, Jay-Z, you're just like, I don't want her to make another ruling. Because Judge Torres is sitting there with her eggnog just looking like, what y'all want, a preservation notice? No, right? Judge Torres is just sitting there looking, and they don't want this to become a media thing. Again, they are very, very embarrassed by what happened to Tony Buzbee. Okay. However, you withdrew because it was most likely going to be denied. You withdrew because it was going to be denied. I would also say this too. When he saw that preservation notice for evidence, I said, you're asking the victim's lawyer to preserve all evidence? Methinks the evidence the victim's lawyer has shows that you are so guilty. It's not even funny. Like, is this really the move you want to go? He also respectfully asks that it be withdrawn, right? I said, okay, right? 1 second. Oh my God. Did y'all know that Trinidad and Tobago's just declared emergency as a state of emergency? Because there's a high rate of murkings. Oof, goodness. Anyway, I guess those holiday plans are canceled. We were planning to go there. They were just like, yeah, it's a state of emergency. You are going nowhere. Okay, so great. Anyway, y'all, so let's get into this. So this is what happened. And again, this was another huge win for Buzbee. They withdrew it because they don't want to get embarrassed again. And Judge Torres is sitting on ready. However, there is a new motion that Alex Spiro put out that really could either sink the case for Buzbee, or at the very least, it's forcing Buzbee's hand. Now, it's important to note at this point, this is not a technical, this is not a technically a motion to dismiss, okay? This is not technically a motion to dismiss. It is a preview for the fact that this is the argument he is going to use in the motion to dismiss. Remember when Judge Annalise Torres was like, "You're not even following the rules of my courtroom, how I like to do things, this, that, and the third." Okay, let's get into this. Also, get those likes up. If you guys are just joining, we were just on live. For some reason, the live got reported and it got pulled down. And in order for me to go live again, I had to make the video private because somebody said we were doing weird things in our Christmas pajamas, talking about weird things. Anyway, y'all, let's actually get into this. Are y'all ready for this? And let's read it. One second. Here we go. Okay. So again, just to catch you guys up before we read it, Alex Spiro withdrew his motion to have Tony Buzbee preserve evidence. I think they withdrew it because they didn't want the judge to rip them apart in a ruling. And they most likely know that it's going to be denied. I do not believe Jay-Z's ego will let Buzbee breathe for a second. So if there was a chance that they could have gotten that motion and that ruling, I think just to make it look good in court, they would have did it. The fact that they're withdrawing it shows that they very much thought that they were going to lose, right? Now listen, this letter is previewing, okay, Alex Spiro's attempt and his intention to file a new motion to dismiss based off of this very, very sound law. As much as people say that Tony Buzbee's coming with the it seems like Spiro is now matching Tony Buzbee's energy and the way he is calm, cool, and collective and going in front of the judge, right? I will say this also. And this is just for you tattletales, okay? Since you guys want my legal insight, and if you don't, I'm going to give it to you. You ever hear that old thing, careful what you wish for? You got what you asked for, but not what you wanted. I still see, even if this is dismissed, I still see a way forward for Tony Buzbee. And I see a way forward that Alex Spiro does not see. Alex Spiro is trying to get it thrown up. We're going to get into this. Okay, let me just get into this because, baby, this is going to be good. I see a way forward. And the way forward I see is, I have my notes. The way forward that I see is not one that I think that Alex Spiro actually sees. I don't think this will be a good look, but more importantly, I think that he is, even though he's trying to like kick him out of New York City, I think that this case might actually end up in Jersey. And I don't think that Alex Spiro is prepared for that. Let's get into this. Okay? I'm going to give you the thing. I do want to say that last time when I was saying I saw a way forward, when people were saying this case was going to be dismissed, I was talking Pelosa v. Archdiocese. Everybody said it was crazy. They said it didn't matter and said, And then Tony Buzbee actually, in his amended complaint, actually cited the very case law that saved the case from being dismissed. There is a new thing that Alex Spiro's doing, basically saying that even if everything is true, it is either bound by the statute of limitations and the forum of New York City is not correct. I believe that there is 100% a way forward. And Alex Spiro might have put Jay-Z's case in an even worse position. And I mean worse position than it originally started from. All right, you guys, with no further ado, let's get into the legal documents. And then I am giving the way forward. Again, I see a way forward. And I do think that Jay-Z doesn't realize it, but he is going to be in an even worse position by what is written in this complaint. All right, are y'all ready? Let's do this really quick. Let me just turn the camera off just for a second. Just got to lift some things up. Okay, so where is it at? Hold on really quick. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Dear Judge Torres, we write on behalf of defendant Sean Carter, pursuant to Rule 3A2 of Your Honor's individual practices in civil cases, to inform the court that Sean Carter seeks to file a motion pursuant to federal rules of civil procedure to dismiss the first amended complaint. Okay, now, again, why is he writing this? Well, for two reasons. One, it gets out to the court, the public. But two, the judge said when she wiped the floor with them, every judge is allowed to have their practices of their own court. Each court is like their own little kingdom. Now, of course, you have to abide by the law, but the way judges like motions submitted, the way the judge wants lawyers to address the court and approach the court, each judge has the right to make their own rules. One of Judge Torres's gripes was, you came in here swinging your mess around and you didn't even abide by the rules I set in my courtroom. This is highly disrespectful. Okay. So it looks like Alex Spiro and Jay-Z went back and read Judge Annalise Torres's rules of her courtroom. So she says that before you file motions, she wants you to submit a letter to the court, letting the court know your intentions, okay? And Kat said, thanks for your research. Both attorneys are the best. Be very cautious. Exactly, Ann. Thank you so much, Ann Kat. I appreciate that. Exactly. Both of these attorneys, Buzbee and Spiro, are top notch. If anybody thinks on either side, this is going to be an easy win, yeah, it's not. This is going to be like the game 7 of the NBA playoffs, if that exists. Y'all know I don't know that much about sports. Anyway, let's get into this. In accordance to the rule, right? Jay-Z sent a letter to Jane Doe setting forth the basis for this motion and advising that Jay-Z would file this pre-motion letter if she chose to stand on her FAC. That's the facts of the case, right? Plaintiff was required, but failed to respond to Sean Carter's letter within 5 business days by December 27th. Jay-Z interprets the plaintiff's silence, Jane Doe's silence, as confirmation that she will stand on the facts of the case that were pled. Accordingly, Jay-Z submits this pre-motion letter concerning his anticipated motion to dismiss, which will raise the following argument. So again, the reason he's writing this, he's following the judge's rules, and he says he actually reached out to the plaintiff and said, yo, we plan to file this, right? And Jay-Z, we plan to file this. And are you going to change your facts of the case? Now, Tony Buzbee obviously laughed in their face and said, get out of here. But now they're using that as saying we gave notice and we want to move forward. Here's the first thing. First, plaintiff cannot recover for her sole claim under the Victims of Gender Motivated Violence Protection Act as the matter of law because the statute does not have retroactive effect. What does that mean? When laws come into effect, most laws are proactive, not retroactive. The founding fathers did that because if they make a law today that says anybody that purchased red pajamas is going to jail immediately, okay? If anybody that purchases red pajamas is going to jail immediately. Because they did not purchase these pajamas today, the law does not apply to me because the law must move forward. They did that when the country was first founded because they would look at you, and if they want to arrest you, they would just make up some dumb law. Yeah, effective immediately. Having boho knotless braids is illegal, and anyone that has boho knotless is going to go to jail for 6 years. And then they would go and they would seize you. They make laws proactively, meaning that moving forward, if you do this, you will be liable. They usually do not do retroactive, which is another reason why when they decriminalize marijuana, right? A lot of people in jail that have been convicted of selling marijuana, okay, they're still in jail. Because at the end of the day, you're in jail for breaking a law. Forget about whether the law was made invalid, right? You're in jail for breaking the law. So as long as you broke the law, whatever that law was, they need to make new laws saying that, okay, we can all free you because you didn't do anything criminal because we no longer. So y'all see where I'm going with this, right? Okay. They're trying to say with Jane Doe, right, that this law for the Gender Motivated Violence Protection Act is not retroactive. If a law is retroactive, it must state, we intend for this to cover all people affected, both past and present. Most of the time, they don't do that because it goes against Constitution. It's very tricky. So what they do is instead of making the law retroactive, they write new laws saying, okay, well, we will free everybody that did this. Y'all with me? All right. So they're saying that even if we believe what you are saying is true, this can't be true. Plaintiff asserts a violation of the GMB law for conduct that purportedly occurred in September of 2000. But the Gender Motivation Violence Act was not enacted until December 19th, 2000. 3 months after the facts of the case claim the conduct occurred. So it cannot apply retroactively to create a cause of action unavailable to the plaintiff at this time of question. You guys, this is actually groundbreaking. And no matter what you think, baby, Jay-Z is getting his money's worth. This was shrewd. And if it is true, it is a huge miscalculation. It's the very act you're suing under. You miss the window by 3 months. Okay. Now listen to this, right? Dismissing the they cite case law where they dismiss the gender motivated law claim related to conduct that occurred before the GMB law was passed because statute does not provide for retroactive or immediate effectiveness. Okay. They also cite New York City local law, this, that, and the third. They said a contrary conclusion saying that Judge Annalise Torres, if you allow for it to proceed under the Gender Motivated Violence Act, it would violate both state and federal due process protections. That's basically saying that they are going to violate Jay-Z's constitutional rights. And we all know that in America, as soon as you say something goes against your constitutional rights, baby, that is the money bag. Now, let me just say this, right? Because it needs to actually be addressed. First of all, House of Congosa, thank you so much. You said they won't stop you, Tisa. Check your emails and DMs. I have gifts for you for all your hard work. Oh, thank you so much. Listen, your presence is gift enough, although I do appreciate super chats, right? But thank you so much. Catgirl226 said, Happy New Year, TTs. They knocked down my first chat. F them. Oh, thank you, Cat Girl. Blessings, mamas, for 2025. Cat Girl 226, thank you so much. And shout out, was it your sister or your roommate? And your kitty cat. Okay, let's get into this. Shout out to your fam around you. Okay, so let me just say this. We got to pause this because it's very important we decode this. This is very shrewd on Alex Spiro's part, okay? We're calling it like we see it. The law is a dirty game, and we have to know what's going on to stay abreast. Putting our heads in the ground and saying, no, Buzbee's a winner is not going to help everything. We need to stay abreast of what's going on. At least I'm staying abreast of what's going on. So listen, this is a very shrewd move because two things are going on. On the surface, right? One, the law doesn't affect. You're suing me not for criminal, but you're suing me for civil. And civil cases have statute of limitations for how long in these things that you can collect. The GMV, Gender Motivated Violence Act, that does actually allow a bigger statute of limitations. But Alex Spiro is saying you missed that window by 3 months. What a pity. But it's also very shrewd because Alex thinks that he's pushing Tony Buzbee to show his hand about whether they're talking about 2000 or 2003. I believe so they can start up the new PR campaign about, well, guess what? We looked in 2003 and that's a lie. You see what I'm saying? He thinks either way, it's going to have to push his hand. And if there wasn't for one tiny thing, he would be right. But I still think there's a way forward. And I'm going to explain that to you after I get past the second prong. And again, just like Pelosa, I was dead right about that. I do believe that this new way forward is going to change the game. And I actually think that Alex Spiro was better off having Jay-Z tried in the Southern District of New York than anywhere else. Let me get to the second prong, okay? Again, this is very shrewd lawyering. But there's a little angle that they are actually missing. All right. Let's get into the second thing. And that's where I believe I will explain. Let's get through this. And then I'm going to explain what I believe the way forward is and how Buzbee should and will respond. I was completely right about it last time. So I'm just saying, stay tuned. I might just be right about it again this time. All right, let's get into this, right? And let me just take this chat off the screen so I can see. Thank you so much, Cat Girl. Okay. Second, he has 3 things as why this should be thrown out. Even if the GMV law had retroactive effect, and it does not, to prevail, the Jane Doe must show that the violative conduct was committed within New York City. Okay? They said the administrative code claims apply only to acts occurring within the boundaries of New York City. The facts alleges that the violative conduct is forced blankual contact, but does not assert that this conduct occurred in New York, nor could it. According to the facts, Jane Doe was driven from Radio City Music Hall to a large white residence with a gated-shaped driveway, a drive that took 20 minutes. This is where the alleged assault took place. The plaintiff's description, the facts of case description of the residence in question, however, combined with public records, confirms that any such residence, to the extent it existed at that time, would have been located outside the territorial boundaries of New York City. As such, assuming the well-pledged factual allegations are true, and they are not, they cannot possibly state a claim for relief. Now, this goes to the core of every lawsuit. Somebody can do you dirty. Somebody can actually do harm to you. But one of the things people forget is you must state a claim for which relief can be granted. The claim has to have some sort of relief that the court can give you, either by injunction, right? That is where you stop something that happens, either by proactively saying you must, giving an order that you must do this so you make something happen, or by civil court, paying money of some way or taking away money. The court has limited abilities. If the only thing that will right the wrong is by me making your hair grow 50 inches, right? The courts are like, yeah, we can't try it. Yeah, they stole money from you. Yeah, they chopped off your hair. Yeah, they did this. But if if you do not want money, there is no way this court can make your hair grow back in 24 hours. So since you're not seeking money and you don't want an injunction and you don't want us to sanction you, we can't do anything for you. It's not that you weren't hurt. It's not that they didn't do it. It's not that you're not telling the truth, but we have no way to give the relief that you want. Alex Spiro is saying that even if we take everything you say as happening as true, because it did not occur in New York City, right? It did not occur in New York City, that there's no relief that can happen. Now, let me just pause this really quick and just say, one, I think that it's a lot for Jay-Z's team to say that they have researched everything in the 5 boroughs, that's New York City, everything in the 5 boroughs. They have researched every single house in the 5 boroughs, including, I believe, what is it? Long Island, Staten Island, Queens, Brooklyn, and of course, Manhattan. You've looked in all 5 boroughs, and you come to tell us that there ain't one mansion, even in Staten Island, even in Long Island, even in Queens, there is not one house that has a circular driveway, especially when you go up in Queens, baby. They got mansions up there too. There is not one mansion with a circular driveway that either is white or could have been white or even whitish. I think that's a big assertion. I think what they're trying to do is force Tony Buzbee's hand and have them come forward and be like, no, look. On top of that, Alex Spiro, by saying you said that it was only 20 minutes. So we looked in the New York area with 20 minutes. There's nothing that is there. Again, you're talking about evidence that perhaps it wasn't 20 minutes. Maybe it was 35 minutes, but because she was so excited, it felt like 20 minutes to her. It happened 20 years ago. Palusa v. Archdiocese, which we first cited, literally said that you're not required to remember all these details. All you need to be 100% sure of is somebody raped you, and be sure who those people or person is, okay? And also, if you are a child, or if at the time, or if you were mentally, some type of mental disability, that they will give you more leniency into making the facts be fuzzy. Now, let's get into this, because let me just say what my crack thing is, right? I feel like in this thing, Alex Spiro might get what he asked for, but not what he wanted. First of all, by bringing this up, I don't think his second prong is that strong. And we know from legal arguments, whenever you're trying to make a legal argument, always put your weakest argument in the middle. Admittedly, this is in the middle. It appears that even Alex Spiro realizes this isn't a very, very strong legal argument. But let me just say this, right? The facts of the case, okay, will need to be proven in front of a jury. Alex Spiro in this has not shown any evidence that, and again, I know this is a letter stating intent, according to Judge Annalise Torres's courtroom, has not shown anything saying that it doesn't exist. First of all, you saying we checked and it doesn't exist. Where's this evidence you checked? If you went through every single real estate thing on, where's the exhibits? I expect to see that in a motion to dismiss. The 20 minutes, that is very, very shoddy. There's no way. But let me just say this, right? In order for this girl to actually know where the mansion was, and in order for Jane Doe's attorneys, Tony Buzbee's team, to know where this mansion was, there is a way that this can happen. It happens through the party planner. We believe the party planner is Jessica Rosenblum. We found a invitation on eBay Marketplace. I believe we were the first people to find that, showing that in 2003, she was the party planner. She did all this. The federal courts have also contend that Diddy rented mansions for his free calls, okay? I do not believe it is a stretch to say that Diddy, and he didn't like having free calls in his house, that Diddy rented some sort of venue for this. She thinks it's a house, perhaps it's a venue. So what's the way forward? Let me just get to this, right? Tony Buzbee's legal team needs to request limited discovery. Now, discovery is when both sides show their cards and you get ready for trial. But when you do limited discovery, because you do have Palusa and you do have, okay, we don't remember specifics, but Alex Spiro is demanding specifics or he wants his case dismissed. Your Honor, we need limited discovery. What is the limited discovery? Not all the evidence, but we need to know, one, who Diddy's party planner was. We believe we know, but we need to identify. Second of all, in this limited discovery, we need the party planner to produce receipts, documents, and everything else as to every party that she planned for Diddy for the year 2003. If 2003 is too much, you can say, okay, in August and September, we need to see the receipts for every venue that was booked. We need catering receipts. We need the receipts also from, I believe, Ciroc Liquors, right? We need for whatever alcohol brands Diddy was working with, because Diddy was famously cheap. Everything at his parties was comped. We need to see the food providers. We need to see the liquor providers. We need to see the pay stubs for the people that were hired for that event. Let's not forget, even though Diddy kept his guest list, usually he handled that privately. The party planner was in charge of hiring waitresses, waiters, doormen, coke girls, whatever, right? They were in charge of hiring all these people, and they would pay directly. So we need to see the pay stubs. We need the name of staff. We need all this, because even if the party planner, who still is very cozy with Diddy, lies and it's like, oh, we held it at a Dave & Buster's, by getting that limited discovery, the liquor deliveries would have to go to a certain address. The event setup, the Pink Elephant party rentals, where they come and bring all the tables and chairs and all the stuff, that would have to have a delivery address. On top of that, if he had flowers, if he had this, if he had lighting, the lighting people for these venues, because Diddy spent over $500,000 at least on parties, there would have to be lighting. The lighting people for these venues, they would all need receipts for where they were actually delivering the equipment. I believe that in limited discovery, if they get this and they sequester these records, they will know exactly where Diddy's 2000 and 2003 VMA award shows were actually had. Now, you could argue, Your Honor, if it was for 2000, it was outside of the Gender Motivated Violence Act where you were suing under, so it's a moot point. However, I believe, given the evidence that I believe we first broke, that I believe that if you move this to 2003, the story makes sense. Benji Madden was there. The story makes sense. Okay. Now, let me just put a disclaimer and say that if this is dismissed on a technicality and not tried on the merits, I do not believe this is good for Jay-Z and the reputation that he claims that he is trying to protect and save. Something like this dismissed on a technicality, it goes to the core of, as Americans, what we think justice looks like. And at the end of the day, and this is Jay-Z's whole point, you feel like you're being tried in the court of public opinion. But by this being dismissed on its merits, this is not had veracity and fuel to the public opinion that you and Diddy did something wrong. Do you see what I'm saying? Again, I do think it'll be in Jay-Z's favor for this to go to court. And if Jane Doe is lying, to rip her apart in court, because only through that, I believe, can your image be completely not, I don't even know how much his image is damaged, because there are so many people still defending. Beyonce's Super Bowl was one of the most watched Super Bowls. I believe The Lion King did really well. So I don't even know that argument that my image is being damaged, but whatever he feels he has lost, it will be restored completely. Much like when Judge Annalise Torres destroyed Jay-Z in court, Tony Buzbee's reputation was immediately restored. You see what I'm saying? Second of all, so let's get into this. You go into limited discovery. Through limited discovery, you'll probably get through limited discovery by, let's just say, mid-January, maybe very, very early February, okay? That is when you ask for a pre-motion hearing, right? A pre-motion hearing, right? The pre-motion hearing is set by a pre-motion hearing calendar, which is usually 90 days. You get 30 days to say, Your Honor, this and that. They get 30 days to respond. You get 30 days to say, Your Honor, Your Honor. We're already in February. February, February, March, April. Diddy's trial is May the 5th. If you do that with the motion calendar, which is always 90 days, okay? And that motion calendar might even be expanded if the other side needs more time to respond, but it's usually 90 days. You now take this whole thing into the criminal trial. If you take this into the criminal trial, right? It will almost be impossible to get it dismissed on the merits, because every time something comes up in the criminal trial, you will file a supplemental motion being like, Your Honor, just to let you know, we were in the Diddy trial and the government is now presenting facts that are eerily similar to what our Jane Doe said happened to her. Your Honor, it is almost impossible for this case to be dismissed, right? And you advise the judge, Your Honor, I just want to advise you, and lay out in graphic detail everything that's being disclosed in Diddy's criminal trial. But it goes deeper than that, because I know some of you guys are like, Batista, you're forgetting one important thing, right? Alex Spiro is saying that it don't matter if all this is true. You're outside of the rule of the law. You're outside of statute of limitations. The case must be dismissed on its merits, or you are messing with Jay-Z's constitutional rights for due process, this, that, and the third. Or so you would think, because I actually wrote this down too. Hold on, y'all, right? Or so you would think, because thing about this, and I will go on and say, where you get what you asked for, but not what you wanted. Alex Spiro is saying that this should be dismissed because it couldn't happen in New York. And it's under the Gender Motivated Violence Act, and it's out of bounds, right? However, we talked about limited discovery. We talked about subpoenaing the records, party planners, liquor delivery, the party setup, the light, everything that goes into like a party, right? From the event planner, okay? Photos, email, anywhere that you could find. But on the case of whether it happened in New York City and the Gender Motivated Violence Act, and I don't think that they're actually thinking this through, right? New Jersey has a Gender Motivated Violence Act of their own that actually goes further back in the look back than New York's actually does. By them saying it couldn't have happened in New York, and also it's a Gender Motivated Violence Act, right? In New York does not stretch back. You know whose does? New Jersey's. And do you know what county if it is in Jersey, this would have had to take, assuming it didn't happen in New York? Do you know what county this would have had to take place in order for any of this to make sense? And what county it most likely, at least in my opinion, took place? Bergen counties. Bergen County, New Jersey. Do you know that I do not know any lawyer that will want a case for this type of magnitude filed in Bergen County? For one, Bergen County is loaded. They are rich. They're also heavily plaintiff. Whenever you bring cases like this into Bergen County, they usually side with the victim. But see, here's the thing. Bergen County is already loaded. So if you go into a courtroom with jurors that are loaded, that means that Jay-Z actually might pay through the nose and maybe pay 10 or 20%, 10 or 20 million more than he would have had to pay if this was tried in New York. It makes sense. When you are a lawyer, you want to go to counties that, if you're representing a victim, one, that are victim friendly, but two, the richer they are, the more they give you. Because going to a working class place and saying, I was wrong, how much are you going to give me? Well, we might actually say, give them 30 million. But when you go into rich billionaire, multi-millionaire territory and you say, I was great and I need to be compensated. The jury says, oh my God, you do. You poor baby. And that 30 million in a very rich enclave might be like 30 million. That ain't nothing. Give her 100 million, because to them, 30 million is a drop in the bucket for the harm you suffered. Whereas in Southern District of New York, they could actually still think that you were wronged, but you're like, wow, 30 million, that's a lot. I don't think Jay-Z actually thought this through. You do not want to be in Bergen County dealing with those rich fat cats that are victim friendly and also that love to make it rain. Now, there's a chance that they could say, well, guess what? We found a little loophole and it's not going to be in Bergen County. Maybe. But by your own admissions, if this happened, it couldn't have happened in New York. So it has to have happened in Jersey, right? Jersey got plenty of white mansions with circular driveways, 22 to 35 minutes away from New York. And baby, we did a video where we showed you some of them that are available for rent by the hour, right? Worst case scenario, even if it doesn't hit Bergen County, the worst case scenario, it will wind up in Newark Federal Court. So it's still Newark. So it's still victim friendly. So maybe you ain't looking at 100 million, but maybe you back to getting 30 million. But at the very least, because Jersey's laws for the Gender Motivated Violence Act are expanded outside of New York and they go a lot further, this case is far from over. Why, if I was Jay-Z, would I want this thrown out of New York City only to go to Jersey? To me, Jersey is a worse deal than New York, but I get it. You got to try. You got to try. You got to try. But I think Jay-Z in this case is going to get what he asked for, but not what he wanted. Because I would argue that Jersey is a worse jurisdiction for Diddy than New York is. I would argue that. Again, this is a way forward for the case. And I believe, I was right before, but I believe that this is the way forward that Buzbee, the legal counsel, is going to see to get away. So it's odd to me that Alex Spiro is doing this, but I guess you got to do something after you get active. But I think Jersey is going to be out of the fire into the frying pan. Because in Jersey, I do not believe that their version of the Gender Motivated Violence Act, I do not believe that needs that it's prior to 2000. So you'll be fine. Anyway, let's get back into the rest of the stuff, right? Let's get into the rest of the stuff, okay? Also, really quick, Nixie, thank you so much for becoming a member. Nixie, look, each one teach one. Nixie actually was so generous to give somebody a membership. Whoever got that member, actually the whole chat. Thank Nixie for gifting out memberships. Corey, what's up, Corey? Thank you so much for the super sticker. Again, really quick, we're about to get into the third reason he wants this thrown out. And I will be very clear. The court of law will have to decide who's telling the truth and who's lying. I believe it's in Jay-Z's best interest to go to a jury trial. He has the money. He has the time. I think it'll completely mitigate whatever damage he sees going. I think it is the way forward for him. But I get the fact that judging by what's going on with Moe and Shandon, I do not believe, judging by what's going on with judging by what's going on with I just don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. Judging by what's going on, Diddy is not getting this case thrown out. Jay-Z, y'all hear my reasons, and I'm thinking in my head, I just don't see this helping him. I don't. But judging by what's going on with the Moe and Shandon, they have bigger issues than what people are saying about them. I really do think they want this case dismissed so that Moe and Shandon can start producing, investing, distributing a partnership that is so lucrative. It accounts for a good portion of, maybe not Beyonce's, because she Beyonce, but it accounts for a good portion of Jay-Z's gross income a year. So, imagine like one of your bags just gets shot down. Again, they want to stop this whole little power struggle. But I will say this, I don't understand it. Moët Chandon is the new CEO, wants to push out Jay-Z and Beyonce. We wouldn't have any way of knowing that because the French investigator magazine Le L'Auteur, which is one of the foremost deep dive investigations, they are super legit. They just released that information. I don't think Tony Buzbee would have a way to know that because that's some deep insider tea. It's true tea according to them, but it's deep insider tea. But Jay-Z would know what was going on, I would think. And he also knew that Blue Ivy's premiere was happening too. So it still boggles my mind. Again, I hope I'm never in that situation. I mean, ain't nobody suing me for rape, right? But I hope I'm never in that situation where you have to make those tough calls. It just boggles my mind that someone that's worth billions did not just make it go away. I get the fact that maybe you think you're innocent and this and that, but I get it. And people are like, oh, he has the right to fight. But yeah, well, actions are consequences. You have to be strategic and you have to pick your fights and battles and arguments. That's like me getting into it with somebody in my comments talking trash about me while the news of the century is breaking and everybody's yelling, Tisa, go live, go live, go live. Yeah, I get it. I might be right. And yeah, the person in the comments might be wrong, right? But is this the time for me to go to war when there's so many other things I should be doing? Jay-Z is very strategic. He's super intelligent. This is not a very strategic or intelligent move. Even him crashing out on Twitter and throwing the book at everything. It doesn't make sense to me by someone that has been so buttoned up and so careful for so long. But you know what does make it make sense? What would fit is if Jay-Z knew he couldn't settle with this one. Because if he settled now, even though Moët and Chandon is trying to cut ties and they need that check, who wouldn't need that check? That is a check, right? Even though Blue Ivy's premiere, I can't back down now because we know about this lawsuit. But there could be other lawsuits behind it. There could be other things behind it. And he feels like he needs to do a show of force now, because if he doesn't do a show of force now, there's going to be a pile-on, just like there was a pile-on with Diddy. Again, that's just my opinion. I'm really trying to figure out why he would put himself in the situation with so much on the line. It doesn't make sense to have a battle of ego. Pride goeth before the fall. You know what I'm saying? It's like we both got a birthday party to get to, and I'm arguing with someone, a parking attendant. It's like, just pay the ticket. Instead, I'm arguing. The police come. We both about to get arrested. I'm missing the party that I should be on. And I get it. I can sit there and be like, but I'm right. They're messing with me. I don't deserve this ticket. Bah, 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 bah. Everything I'm saying could be true. But when you're strategic, it's like everything you're saying could be true. But do you really need to be arrested with the parking attendant because you got into a fight and now you're missing the party and you were supposed to be in the cake and you're doing all this? You might be right, but you got to put your ego to the side and think strategically, what do I need to happen right now? And these are situations that nobody likes to be in, but you got to think of the bigger picture. You're at work, somebody curses you out. Yeah, in a real world, you want to square up, but you at work and you got bills due and your rent and all this stuff. And it's your kid's birthday. And yeah, you want to square up. And yeah, this person deserves to be punched in the face. But is this the time to really just crash out? Is this the time to take a moral, righteous anger and do all this stuff when you know you have all this other stuff on the line? That's all I'm saying. You can do what you want, but it just makes me think, why would you put yourself, Blue Ivy's premiere, Disney, The Lion King, Moët and Chandon, you let the wolves in. Why would you do that? What could be worth sacrificing all that? what could be worth sacrificing all that and bringing all your problems to your door? Because Jay-Z's smart, and I don't believe he would bring all these problems to his door if he wasn't trying to keep a bigger problem at bay. It's like, it's the last analogy I'm going to make. It reminds me of when I was like, first started dating, and I was like, yo, like, why is this person telling me like all these little white lies? I don't understand. Like, are they like, well, I don't understand. Why are they like lying about like, oh yeah, like, yeah, I was wearing a red shirt and oh yeah, I saw. And I'm like, well, talk to my dad. Like, why is he lying about these little things? I know, me, even when I was younger, I'll sit there and let somebody lie to my face and be like, for real? Oh no. I hope your granny's gonna be okay. I'll sit there and let somebody lie to my face, right? Right. Because my dad always said it's always better for someone to think that you're my dad's words, it's always better for someone to think that you're stupider than you actually are. Your ego, hence why Jay-Z got in trouble. The ego of being like, yeah, you show care. Like nothing to me. You a fly in this world and I will crush you. That is never the way to go. It's always better to let your opponents underestimate you. Always. They think they got to win. They doing a victory lap. That's fine because, baby, we going to see, like, at the end of the day, the only thing you should be concerned about is what are your goals and objectives, and you will get your goals and objectives done no matter what. Everything else is just noise. Even your ego is noise. You need to focus on your goals and objectives because at the end of the day, that's all that's going to matter, right? So, I'm talking to my dad like, yo, like what they're lying to me. Like, this is weird. Like, do you think they're like have a psychological? Like, I was just so puzzled because it was about dumb stuff. And my dad, I'll never forget it. He said, let me tell you something. The reason why people, and I'm paraphrasing, but the reason why people get so worried when somebody's telling little white lies when they don't have to. Because it's not the white lie like, oh, how do I look? Oh, you look great. Does this make me look stupid? Absolutely not. No, it's not anything like that, right? Where it's like, well, I'm not going to hurt your self esteem. The reason why somebody would hold on and just basically tell all these little dumb lies for no reason. And when you can't figure out why, because it makes no sense, is because those little lies are actually to cover up a bigger lie. When little white lies don't make sense, you can't figure out, it's not the little white lie. They are trying to cover up a bigger truth, a bigger lie that they don't want you to know about. That's why it looks so nonsensical. And when I look at what's going on with Jay-Z, it just takes me back to what my dad said. Why are you crashing out and doing all these things and bringing all these problems? And I don't care. I get it. He might be innocent. I wouldn't settle. Yeah, but when you got like billions of dollars on the line, your daughter's premiere, like all this stuff, and you got 2.6 billion, I mean, after that 30, 50 million starts to look kind of stupid. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's right. So why? Why? What bigger are you trying to distract from? What bigger are you trying to hide? What don't you want us to know? What don't you want to come out? No, it could just be the case of he let his ego get in front of him. Like my dad always says, y'all heard it. Pride always goes before the fall. There's a reason people call things an ego death for a reason, right? It could just be that simple. But Jay-Z's not really simple. He's not simple-minded. He's very strategic. One of the smartest people in the industry. If you listen to anybody that talks to him, they say he is one of the most smartest, most strategic, calculating people out there. And they say it's a compliment. So yeah, really quick, let me just get into this really quick also. Kim Marie Norman said Jay-Z is fighting like he is in the Marcy Projects, not like a billionaire businessman. That mask came off, spoke too fast. Listen, something is going on, and there's something Jay-Z knows, I believe, that we don't know yet. And there's something, whatever he knows, he is fighting for that, not for this, because this little lawsuit don't make any sense to me. It really honestly doesn't, especially when Jay-Z isn't even the central person. And how Jay-Z said and told everybody, Tony Buzbee settled with everybody. Jenner G, thank you so much for the super sticker. G already told us that like he oh my God. Hold on, y'all. Y'all want to hear something funny? This has to do with Diddy. So Tony Buzbee's people are asking that they want to re-adjourn. They're trying to serve Diddy papers for the court, but they can't serve Diddy even though he's in jail. And they're saying that Diddy is refusing to leave his jail cell to get service of process in jail. Yo, okay, fine. So they want to serve Tony Buzbee. I'm sorry, they want to serve Diddy with more stuff. Oh wait. Okay. Anyway, let's get into this. Let's see if Buzbee takes the way forward that I outlined that's coming. Again, it's just a guess, but maybe. Also, thank you so much, Tip. Listen, Tip actually sent me something. Erica Dixon versus L.A. Reid. Interesting case law. The case law is 2003 CV 09878 for anybody that's interested in this stuff. It's the exact same argument. The motion to dismiss was denied. It might be worth noting, this is another Southern District of New York judge. This is for the GMBA, the Gender Motivated Violence Act as well. If she was directed from New York City to New Jersey to be assaulted, it wouldn't be able to argue it started in New York City. However, this is a good point, Tiffany. Yo, shout out to Tiffany for actually pointing this out. Thank you so much, Miss Red. She actually had some very interesting things to say. My whole thing is, if you're in Jersey, you're in the hot water. However, if you could outside, because it expands this act. However, even if you, that whole argument of, well, it didn't take place in New York, Erica Dixon beat L.A. Reid, right? She actually, it's the same argument. And the judge actually said that if Erica Dixon was directed from New York City to New Jersey to be assaulted, right? Then you're not able to argue it didn't happen in New York because it started in New York City. The fact that it ended somewhere in Jersey is of no consequence. It started in New York City. So that, and where it starts is where the incident actually occurred. Again, if somebody kidnaps you in New York and then they take you all the way to Arizona, you do not say, I was kidnapped in Arizona. No. You say that you were kidnapped in New York City and you arrived in Arizona. It seems like that same logic. If you look at Erica Dixon versus L.A. Reid, it looks like that same logic actually stands very, very firm. It doesn't matter where it ended. You can make it, although if you need to, you can make an argument, but it really matters where it started. And where it started, it's just not a good thing. Again, the motion to dismiss was striked under the Erica Dixon thing, Erica Dixon v. L.A. Reid case. And they noted that although she ended up in Jersey, it started in New York. Again, I do think, when you do case law, if you're reading anything, the weakest part is always in the middle. I do think he threw this in because he threw it in, but I do believe this whole New York, New Jersey thing is the weakest thing. I think the biggest part of this is the fact that these the acts that they're suing under, the statute of limitation has told them they can't do that. They said third, any viable GMV law claim is time barred under New York's Child Victims Act, which preempts plaintiffs' GM law claim. The facts of the case alleges that the conduct occurred 20 years ago, well outside the CVA statute of limitations, though the CVA was amended in 2019 to create a 2 and 6 month revival period. That period expired in August 2021. Plaintiff seeks to plead around the statute of limitations issue by asserting a claim under the GMV law, which contains a longer revival period. Courts in this district, however, have recognized that the CVA's revival period preempts the GMV law's overlapping and extended one. That's when appeal was withdrawn. They said, as such, plaintiff's claim expired no later than August 2021. Thank you for your honor's consideration of this request. Respectfully submitted. Quinn Emanuel, Urquhart, and Sullivan LLP. Alex Spiro did his signature. Listen, I do want to say this. This was excellent, 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 excellent case law. Excellent. Alex Spiro did his big one on this, and we will acknowledge that. Tony Buzbee, though, I don't think is done. There are lots of ways forward. I do think this might end up and be withdrawn and be refiled in Jersey due to the law being better and also the payout also being bigger. I do think if it's refiled in Jersey, I think Jay-Z and Alex Spiro will get what they asked for, but not what they wanted. I think that he's going to come back with a fully vetted case. I think that he's going to come back bringing hell with them. I think that Jersey will have them locked in with law. But again, and this is just my opinion, I do believe that Jay-Z taking trial will be the only way to put with social media, to put a rest to the whispers that have been allowed to go on. Again, I will say this once and again, I'm just wondering what else is going on over in Roc Nation. What is going on with Jay-Z? Are there others? Are there others not from 2000? Are there others from 2003, 2006, 2009, 2012? What is going on in Roc Nation? Something's going on with Roc Nation. But, we're going to do a deep dive on that because we have our little feelers out trying to find out what's going on. And I'm just saying this. Watch this Roc Nation space. I think there's going to be significant movement and developments in the new year. And I think in the new year, probably in the first quarter, probably no later than April, we are going to find out exactly why Jay-Z is like doing a scorched earth policy. And I think it has to do more than with this case in the Jane Doe thing. You know what I'm saying? I think it has to do with more. Also, Cultural Maven said, "Thanks, TT. What I wish we had tea on is whether Texas will press charges against the folks trying to bribe Buzbee clients. Let's go, Texas." Let me tell you something, Cultural Maven. The same way Alex Spiro is plugged in New York and Los Angeles, Tony Buzbee is plugged in with Texas. I do think that when Buzbee said that Quinn Emanuel got sloppy, got this, got that, I don't think he was just selling wolf tickets. I really honestly do think they made a huge misstep. And I do honestly believe that charges will be pressed, along with civil charges, most likely. Charges will be pressed. Tony Buzbee is going to do everything he can to keep that foot on the gas. I'm just saying. He also said, he's so smart, dumb diddler. Really, did he? That's your plan? You stayed in your cell? Okay. I guess, right? Listen, all they need to do is, are they able to file the service of process onto a rat's back and let it into Diddy's cell? Why it just goes? I'm just saying. I'm sure one of those rats would have served Diddy. They just need to tie it to a rat's cell or wrap it around a pack of oodles and noodles in the commissary. I bet you he'll be served then. I bet you he'll be served. What y'all think, right? Listen. I think, here's the thing. Kinetic office systems. Yeah, exactly. I think at this point, Jay-Z and Buzbee have upped the ante so much. Kinetic office systems had a good point that they think that if Jay-Z settles, he loses this case too. I believe that. I think if it's thrown out on a technicality and not because he was found to be innocent, or if he settles the case, I think that he loses. I think these whispers that have been going on will gain more and more and more momentum. I truly believe this actually needs to go to trial, or it needs for Jane Doe to write a public apology. I don't know if she's telling the truth, and I'm just saying for Jay-Z to get the evidence except for the Moe and Shandon, I think they kind of want this to go away so they can get back to making that Moe Shandon money. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying, right? I'm just saying. I just do. YM Joy, thank you so much for being a member for 5 months. YM Joy said Diddy is probably in his feelings that Jay said they're business associate, not friends, drowning his sorrows in toilet wine. I think that is exactly what is going on. Y'all know that they said that Diddy begged the guards on Christmas, begged the guards to take him to the infirmary because he swore that there was something really, really wrong. Like he was in super, super, super bad pain. And he begged them to take him to the infirmary. I know they looked at them and said, we saw Shawshank Exemption and life. You ain't going nowhere. We'll send a nurse into your jail. Nurse, guards, he in here. They sent the nurse to his jail to literally, Diddy was probably trying to rub his hands together, probably trying to stand next to his life to make his forehead hotter. Literally, probably drinking toilet wine, trying to get like a nice flush going. Diddy, shut up. It ain't happening. Listen, here's the thing. J-Lo, let's be real, right? J-Lo could be making this all up. Any person that accuses somebody of sexual assault could be making it up. However, and I'll be honest with you, the way Jay-Z reacted, the sheer panic and chaos and just crash out, it made me, and the whole, he's not friends with Diddy, it made me be like, now I know there's lots of rumors that have been going around with Jay-Z, but can we acknowledge that the main person starting all this mess that said Jay-Z raped her with a bang bang, that said that she saw them putting bodies in suitcases, that said that they are smack shot, all the claims that this person said that it's a reason for all this stuff, right? They're now backtracking everything. And you can't say they're backtracking because they're scared, because the federal government is begging people to come forward with information. The federal government got everybody's back, including Cassie and the numerous witnesses. They got a lot of people squilling on Diddy. So if you have evidence, now would be the time to do it. You would be more protected. So when you think about it, and let's just be real, a lot of these accusations against Jay-Z are come from the same nest, and they're walking it back. So right now, all Jay-Z has is this. However, I do want to say his reaction. So we don't know who's telling the truth. That's why he needs to go to a court of law, right? I believe victims. If there's any way it can make sense, okay, let's see what happens in a court of law. However, his reaction and the way he brought Roc Nation into it, and the whispers I've been hearing about what's going on in Roc Nation, well, I do believe by the first quarter, probably no later than April, we're going to see what's going on. And as I can say more, I'll say more, but I do believe that we will see what is going on by April. A lot of people said I was crazy when I said that Diddy was under investigation by New York State, New York City, and the feds. A lot of people called me a liar when I was the first and only person reporting that New York State and New York City stopped their investigation with Diddy, and the feds took it over completely. I was the first to say that a grand jury was going to be convened and Diddy was going to get indicted. And you can go back to my old lives. This is back in December of last year and January. You can check the timestamps. I was the first, and people called me liars, dragged me, did whole lives talking trash about me, right? Saying that, right? Doing it for clicks and views, even though if we see the metrics, baby, I'm not the one that needs a click and the view, but okay, right? But all jokes aside, let me stop it, right? Because every single time I sub someone, people I don't even know I exist think I'm talking to them. It's like, anyway, right? So let me stop subbing, because everybody thinks it's them, and I'm like, I don't even know who you are. But last year, I was the first to say a grand jury is going to be convened, and that he is going to be indicted. I got called every single liar in the world. Well, I even said back in January that it was going to be sex trafficking, RICO. I said RICO, racketeering, all this stuff. I said they're going to be looking into money laundering And they're going to be looking into attempted murking, right? You can go watch the lives. Diddy got arrested prematurely, but these superseding indictments were coming. And when Diddy's house got raided, I said, yo, the grand jury is convening, like, you guys. Everybody called me a liar. Diddy's own lawyer, and people are like, oh, well, if that's true, you're messing up the case. Diddy's own lawyer actually stood on the courthouse and said, we've known for a while Diddy was being investigated. We've known for a while that a grand jury was going to convene. We've known for a while Diddy was going to get arrested. I said Diddy was going to get arrested. There were people flooding my comments, literally hate mobs forming, being whisked up. She lying, you always lying, you always lying. And everything I said came to pass in the exact order. I was the first person to say that Diddy was going to try to put out an apology video. I said to the day and 20 minutes when it was going to be posted, and said what was going to be in the apology video, the way he was going to say it, and the exact order he was going to say it. I did an emergency live on Saturday night. It was like, you guys, it's either going to drop tonight. However, his lawyers are at some type of either wedding or bar mitzvah or whatever. And if not, and I said, it's going to drop tomorrow, Sunday at 11 o'clock a.m. Be ready. This is what he's going to say. This is how he's going to say it. This is the tone he is going to use, right? Everything I said in the exact order, in the exact talking points came to pass. And guess what? It didn't drop at 11 a.m. that Sunday. It dropped at 11:19 a.m. that Sunday. Okay, right? All right, I was off by 19 minutes. The point of the matter is, I would just invite everybody to watch this space, watch what's happening with Rockefeller, I would just invite everybody to watch this space. All right. And I would invite everybody to watch this space. Again, there's a lot going on in the background. I've been hearing rumors for a while. I've been hearing whispers for a while. But when I saw the way Jay-Z acted with this, it just made me say, Now, what those rumors and whispers are, I'm not going to say, because whatever's going on, it's going on. So we'll see. But again, given everything that's going on, it just really, I don't know, it has me watching. It has me watching the throne, so to speak, right? Listen. Also, really quick, yeah. So anyway, you guys, listen. Let me listen. Listen. All I'm going to say is that, one, let me get back in bed. I came down with something, but I came in my Christmas pajamas just so we could share this with you. I'm going to try to drop a few more faceless videos. I have not been kidnapped. It is not AI. It is just me. And I didn't think you guys wanted to see the ugly face of sickness. But if you do, you can keep seeing. You can keep seeing this, right? Listen, again, really quick, last thing. Also, Brandy Donari said, keep up the good work, sweetie. Much love and aloha from Hawaii. Aloha. Thank you so much. I know you having such a beautiful Christmas. The weather must be chef's kiss. Brandy, thank you so much for the super sticker, Mama. I appreciate that. Also, Son, thank you for being a member for 8 months. Said, hey, T, says silence is consent. Even if Joe Camel is innocent of this, his hooves aren't clean. Nothing will happen until after the Super Bowl. No one will fumble the bag. Happy New Year, Tattletales and Sussex Squad. You know, I forgot about the Super Bowl. I know I kept confusing the halftime show with the Super Bowl. Y'all know I'm not a sports fan, right? But listen, at the end of the day, it is what it is. It is what it is. We've done a lot of work. We've done a lot of investigation. We've been digging. We hear a lot of stuff. But again, I don't know. I would just invite you guys to really watch this space, because I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. But I feel like Jay-Z knows. And I'm just wondering what he knows and what really is his motivation for acting this. Or maybe he just, he's just fighting for his name and Tony Buzbee picked the wrong one. We will see. We gonna see. Anyway, you guys, listen, let me know what you think, right? let me know what you think in the comments, and I will talk to y'all later. I will upload a few more videos because there is some funny stuff going on with the Kardashians and also Diddy. But let me know what you think in the comments. I will talk to y'all later. Bye.